ACL. Yep. No, I don't know all that yet. Yeah, horrible for him. He obviously rehabbed, put himself in a position from a previous one a year ago, and did all the things he could do to help us win. And just a guy you love being around and appreciate. And he'll be back. He knows this process. He's done it before. We'll figure out what all the ins and outs are, the surgery, how long, all that. But it's unfortunate for him.
What was his reaction?
Well, I mean, I can't speak for him. Just seeing him in the training room, disappointed, but right attitude, to attack it as always.
Do you think you'll have T. Higgins and Orlando Brown back this week?
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. I think, we're limited with our field work, but both those guys have the right attitude about it. And so that's step one is they both want to do it. And now just physically we'll put them through everything we can over the next couple of days to see where they can help us. Better than expected. So again, we'll let time pass on that one, but I'd say better than I would have thought coming out of yesterday.
What do you need to see from T and Orlando through the week?
Just dealing with trainers, dealing with trainers, and kind of getting the feedback from the players and the trainers, and just making sure we're not putting them in a bad spot by putting them out there. So again, those are two guys who have been through a lot of seasons and know how to communicate it, and so there's that level of trust there that we're going to get the right information we need to make the best decision for them.
What happened to Zac Taylor?
He's got a neck issue that we're working through. No, hopefully more information this week.
Something that occurred at practice on Friday?
Well, that's the first it really came to our attention was Thursday night, Friday morning. But again, I think that's the best I can say right now.
And then you said Chase Brown dinged up a rib.
He just really took a bruise. So he took a rib shot that you were unsure on. It ended up being a bad bruise. Played through it. Did a great job coming out of it. I'm sure there's some soreness there today, but with all the carries and all the plays he got, but that was it.
Is the expectation that Jermaine will practice this week and play on Thursday?
Yeah, that's where we're going to push him towards.
Charlie Jones.
We'll see about Charlie. He did it, I think, Thursday during practice, the groin. So we'll be cautious with him as well. You don't want to overdo that one. So, again, that's one of the situations on a short week like this, to deal with the trainers, deal with the player, and we'll see where he gets to over the next 48 hours.
Given the way you transformed the offense and really built the run game around the area, how big of a hit is it for you and the team to lose him?
Well, it's unfortunate anytime you lose a player who's doing so well that you're counting on. We've got a really smart, good tight end room that can fill those roles, and again, we'll always adapt and find the right ways to keep the offense moving forward. Obviously, I think people see the role he's playing for us and had a lot of responsibilities in our system. And so it hurts, but this is part of this league. A lot of teams are losing key players, and that's just the moment we're in right now. And fortunate that we got a big group in that tight end room. And so those guys are going to step up and fill that role for us.
When y'all went in the draft process with him, did y'all get any sense that there was given when it happened and kind of how early he came back, that this was a risk, that he could be into the same
Honestly, I can't get into all the medical part of it. He obviously had rehabbed it. He's had an ACL before, had rehabbed it. Everything was done appropriately, and so it's just unfortunate it happened.
Do you feel like you need an addition in the running back room now at this point?
I think we got to be open to everything, and that's what Duke and his staff do an excellent job of, always just making sure we're equipped with everything that we need. And so going through that process of seeing what's available, seeing where we can help ourselves in all areas, and we'll go from there.
How much could a guy like Milton even help you right now? I mean, he's newish here. I mean,
yeah.
Or do you need someone to take some of the load off of Chase? I imagine 20-plus carries between now and however long you're playing doesn't probably feel like the greatest plan. Maybe you feel like it does. I don't know.
Well, it's a short week and then a long weekend, and so we'll just the first issue is this Thursday and seeing what our best plan is to win and going from there. But again, we'll assess all the possible options. That's I know Duke and his staff are grinding on that, Steve and all those guys, and so we'll see all that takes us.
Do you worry about wear and tear on Chase Brown potentially? It's being built for a type of run where he's got to carry so much more of the load.
I think it's important that you have another guy that can take some of the work off of him, whether that's a couple carries, whether that's some other snaps in some other areas. He has proven that he's a durable guy and can do a lot of stuff for us. So excited to see him in this continued role. And again, we'll always make the best decisions on how we can help him, how we can make the offense, and what backs fit in what situations for us.
Just to follow up on Paul's question about adding a running back.
Yep.
We don't get a chance to talk to Duke, so I know what your answer is probably going to be. But over the weekend, there was a report out that you guys were looking to maybe add to the defensive line and cornerback room with the trade deadline tomorrow. Do you have any comment on that?
No, I think what I'd say is Duke always comes to me with information I need when I need it. And so the beauty is understanding that we had a big game last week, a short week this week. Any information he always gets is critical information for me. They work like crazy to make sure that we field the best team. And so, again, there's a lot of work that I know they're always doing behind the scenes. And you never know. If something happens, and that's great. So, again, I've got a lot of trust in those guys, and they do a great job of communicating with our coaches.
Back to Jermaine, like your theme is that you're going to help him. Like, what are the resources you guys have here to help any young player who's figured it out?
Tremendous resources, and I would say that we go above and beyond to make sure everyone's put in the best situation. And I won't get into what that all looks like, but and you'll just have to take my word for it that we go above and beyond to make sure everyone's put in the best place possible to succeed, and we're going to continue to do that.
I know the word accountability has come up throughout the season in terms of the coaching staff, but what about in handling players? What about the accountability you feel the players have for each other in the locker room? How would you characterize it?
It's important. I think I don't know what word to use best, but it's important that you can count on your teammates, that the players can count on us, and we can count on the players. And so, again, it's everyone's coming in this league and has got things they got to continue to work through. It takes everyone to bring them along. And so I'm excited to watch how that process unfolds, and everyone's on board and willing to get the best out of every player we got in the locker room.
I guess a better way to ask the question is,
I can't wait because I appreciate that.
do you feel there are enough voices, strong voices
I
in
do.
the locker room to get the message across?
I do. I think I won't get into specific position groups, but I think that there's a lot of good guys that are willing to help, and regardless of the situation with any player, always gotten really good feedback where people are understanding and want what's best for the team.
I think as a head coach, how have you kind of learned to discern when you get to the root of any kind of issue with a player over time? I mean, really at the heart of it, what's the hardest part, or in trying to discern exactly what the issue is with anybody?
Everything's different. It's no two people are the same. It's always unique situations that you try to assess as best you can, and I won't list them all, but everyone's unique, and you got to handle them all differently and find the best way to solve the problem.
What did you take, going back to the Baltimore tape the first game, week 5, that you think gave you the most signs of hope that coming into this week's game?
I think we always have great hope. I think this team believes that whoever walks on the field against us, we have a tremendous opportunity to find a way to win. These divisional games, again, it's always stated when you play these games, we know them well, they know us well. It was a great game. The last time we played them, we came up short, and excited for the opportunity to get another crack at them at their place.
Whether, we obviously blitzed them our last time, but when you just look at how well he's playing, how important is it to create pressure, and what does pressure do in particular in a matchup like this?
Yeah, he's playing as good as anybody in this league right now. Well, they scored 7 straight possessions yesterday, and so they're doing a lot of really good things. He's playing with a lot of confidence. There's a lot of things that are double-edged sword when you're attacking him, whether you're pressuring, and he makes the extra guy miss, and now you got a whole world of problems because he's as unique as it gets in terms of his athletic skill set, but his ability to beat you with his arm creates a real challenge. And so, again, we've seen him multiple times where guys know what they're dealing with, and you got to find ways to get stops, take the ball off of those guys, create an extra possession for yourself. But again, he poses a real significant challenge because of the type of player he is.
It's kind of a two-part question, but were you in the room last year when Joe found out the diagnosis of his wrist injury?
I was in several rooms at several times, so.
Do you just remember your initial reaction? I know you're very even-keeled.
Yeah.
You don't ride the emotional roller coaster,
Yeah.
but do you remember your initial reaction?
Yeah, I just remember being one-on-one with him, in the locker room after the game, and it's a tough situation when you lose a player, especially of that significance at such a key position. but my job is to keep everything moving forward, and there's nothing you can do to change the circumstances. I'm very human. I feel the gut punch in the moment, but you've got a couple seconds to comprehend what's happening, and then you move on. And that's the way that this business is in this league, and everyone's got to deal with it. You don't have a single second to feel sorry for yourself or the circumstance you're in. It's your job to turn to Jake Browning and say, lead us, and you've prepared, you're ready for this moment. And that happens at a lot of different positions, and that's just part of the nature of the NFL.
What did you think when the league put you back there almost a year to the day on Thursday night?
Truthfully, I didn't put much thought into it. It feels like we've been there on a lot of Thursday nights. It's great. Put us in prime time. That means something to us. We need to play well, on the road in prime time. And so I think this team wants to be in the spotlight. We embrace that, and we need to put our best performance going forward on Thursday.
Ravens have had good running backs around Lamar, but the guy they have back there now is really one of one. How has he made that offense, and with Lamar, even more dangerous?
I mean, he's an incredibly physical runner. He's obviously got the top end speed to finish runs, as he's proven time and time again this year, even in whatever year he's in his career, which I think is really impressive. Once he gets that second level and gets a full head of steam, he's a real problem, and guys have been injured just tackling him, just normal tackles. He's not doing anything wrong. He's just a big body, and it's a lot of punch when you have to wrap up and tackle him. So obviously he's had as good a career as anybody, and still playing at an extremely high level.
He's had problems sometimes ball security-wise. He's only got 2 interceptions, 20 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. It seems like his ball security is at a high level.
He does an excellent job. He's able to get out of tough situations in the pocket to create better throwing opportunities for himself, to where he doesn't have to force balls, and it's impressive.
What does it say about Joe that he's so locked in and was so maybe looking to get better, and kind of his mentality after a win like he had, performance like he had yesterday?
It just speaks to what's important to him. He wants to win a championship, and he feels like, I don't feel like I'm speaking for him because he said it, but I mean, there's areas we could have improved yesterday on offense, and sometimes it's just 3 or 4 plays that we got to be better at. And when there's an opportunity, to feel like you left drives on the board, you left points on the board, it's frustrating for him, and so I can certainly understand that.
What kind of impact do you think does that have on our team when your quarterback is so vocal and kind of has that mindset of this is how it's going to be and this is how we feel like
Yeah, he's a leader on this team, and he wants people to match his intensity and his standards, and I don't disagree with that, and so again, there's a balance for me as the head coach. There's a lot of positive things yesterday. I thought our defense played really well. First possession of the game wasn't exactly what we wanted, but they did an excellent job, and then at the end of the game gave up a late score. But I thought they did a great job. Everything we wanted to do: take the ball off of them, create extra possessions for the offense, key third down stops. Was really proud of that. So as a head coach, I'm balancing some things that I think are really good, and there's some really good things on offense as well. But again, we want perfection. We know it's the halfway point in the season, and to achieve all the goals, we want to be in the thick of this division race with a chance to win it. We want to go to the playoffs. We want to win the Super Bowl. And so there are things that have to improve for us to get there. I think that's pretty obvious. So balancing how hard it is to win in this league and enjoying that, but also knowing we got a quick turnaround versus a big opponent, and we got to get ourselves ready to go on our mindset the right way.
To that point of the goals looking forward, it feels like this specific game could kind of be the pivot point on that. Like, you guys win this game, you're right in it. You split with the Ravens, and all your goals are right there. A loss, on the other hand, could be a pretty big setback.
I think that's how it's been phrased in here every week, that every loss is going to determine our season and every win is going to determine our season. I've really fought back on that notion that we just take it one game at a time, and that's the mentality this group has had, and we're going to stick with it right now with where we're at in the season, and just find a way to win this one and then look forward to the next week. So just try to keep it as tight as we can that way.
Will Mims bug you for a redo on the slip play?
Mims wasn't the one bugging me. That was, I think a lot of people were you got to get the right look. It's got to play out the right way. Joe did a great job just getting us to the next play. the tricky part is you got to get him out on the next one, Mims, since he was an eligible receiver, and you got to get him out and get a new guy in. So Devin Cochran went in there for his first snap and did a great job, and we scored a touchdown to Drew Sample. So a cool moment for Devin. I mean, that's just an example of some of these guys that step up in a moment's notice. Kendrick Pryor, it's a run play. We check to a pass. He gets his first career catch. Devin Cochran probably didn't expect to go in there his first play, block Max Crosby, but he did, and did well enough for Joe to extend and find Drew. So I think just good example of the depth on our team and the attention to detail of guys that have been on the practice squad being ready when their number's called. Kendrick didn't know he was playing until Saturday at noon, and so for him to step up and us trust that he's going to do all that stuff. And Devin the same way. He's been practicing like crazy. He goes one-on-one with Trey Hendrickson every day of his life. That's every rep he gets is one-on-one with Trey. And so it gets him ready for a moment that when his first block in the NFL is going to be Max Crosby, it's not too big of a moment for him because of some of these guys face in practice. And so I think it's a cool moment for both those guys.
Is that the most rewarding behind-the-scenes moment as a position coach when guys like those two step in and do stuff like that?
I think it is pretty cool because you've done a job to keep them focused. Those are two guys practiced the right way, man, and I think the team pulls for and they see that they are getting ready for their moments in games, and so when their number's called, no one's really surprised that they stepped up and delivered.
I know Eric's skill set is different than most of your tight ends in what he can do in the run game, but with kind of looking at your numbers in the tight end room, where is Tanner McLaughlin's development then?
Yeah.
Is he someone that, you've liked his growth on the practice squad this
Yeah,
year?
he's not on the practice squad. He's on the 53. He's just been inactive. So, again, enough to keep him on the 53 and see a bright future for Tanner and going to keep bringing him along and, again, have high expectations for Tanner's career here.
Was it yesterday another case where it looked like Joe wanted to run no huddle, hurry up, and then I think there was an injury behind the play?
No, he caught him in 12 men on the field and was trying to snap him. Rare circumstance where it was a bang-bang play at the sticks the play before on whether or not we got the first down. So the officials, as they explained to me, and they're correct, came in. They got to come in to see exactly where the ball spotted. So they're not in a position to see if we subbed or not. So they have to assume that someone walked on the field and they have to hold it to allow them to sub. And so Joe was correct. There's really nothing anybody could have done differently. Joe saw it, had thought he could get it earlier in the game. He did it. It's just he can't really balance with where the ball just got on a new 1st and 10 and what the officials' jobs are, and so we just move on from there. But it's tough because that's the possession we had to kick field goal on. So it's unfortunate because that play was 0 yards, and then we're 2nd and 10, and then we get kick field goal. So there's nothing really you could do differently. I like Joe's approach that he's trying to do that and be aggressive with subs because you can get a free play out of it, and I think we're one of the better teams in the league in terms of getting free plays with cadence and stuff like that. So we got to keep that up.
What are your options right now with Chase getting as many carries as he got yesterday to kind of take the workload off him? I mean, what do you feel like on with what's currently on the roster to be able to kind of lead?
I think the important thing is short week, Thursday game, do everything we can just to find the best plan possible, and then you go from there. You get a chance to readjust from there, but we'll just assess our options right now for Thursday night and get ready to go.
You said you're moving forward, expecting Jermaine to go. I know you experimented with in the preseason. Would he be in the mix at kick returner if Charlie can't go?
I think all options are on the table at kick returner. Yep.
As a play caller, what is a guy like Hendrickson? How do you attack a guy like that as a play caller? I mean, what is he?
I mean, when he runs right through people, it's hard to do that. And so, again, he knows how people are going to plan around him. So I think that's what the great ones do. They plan for the fact that they're going to get licked by tight end, they're going to get chipped by backs, they're going to get slid to in the protection. So you're going to get screened. And so he's aware of all that and is able to take all that in and still rush at a high level and also be ready on what counter moves he's got versus all that stuff. And so, again, you see that from the ones that get all that attention. They do a great job counteracting all that, and Trey is excellent at understanding how people are going to attack him, and he still has to win, and he still does it. Okay.